UFC 286 is finally here. It's the first pay-per-view in England since 2016 and I'm incredibly excited. What I'm going to do today is break down the main card, but before I get into that, if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe as we have new videos every single week. So let's take a look at the card. This poster has really kind of grown on me. I wasn't 100% sure of it at first, but I do like sort of that play on the £20 note. But let's move on to the actual fights. We've got Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman for the welterweight championship. Likely the final fight in their trilogy. Leon showed some real progression from the first into the second, and I wonder, can he make even more progression in this third fight, because he really got Usman in some tricky positions. He nearly submitted him, and then he got that crazy, picturesque last-minute head kick. I think whoever can make the most adjustments in this fight is probably going to get the win. But my prediction is that Usman is going to stand center in the octagon, and he's going to push Leon to the edge as much as possible, not give him a second to breathe, and not even allow him to throw any head kicks at all. I really feel like Usman is going to drown Leon here, and I really hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see Leon return. And then we move on to the co-main. We've got Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. This is going to be a banger. There's no two ways about it. It's going to be incredibly exciting. It's probably going to be the most fun fight on the whole card. This is a great opportunity for Rafael, because if he can get a win over Justin here, that's really going to push him up into that title picture. And we can maybe even see him in a title shot in 1-2 fights away. And it's nice that we're finally getting to maybe move away from the old guard of the lightweight division, because it's usually just these same guys fighting each other over and over again. So I'm glad to get some new blood in there. But I am leaning Fiziev for this fight. I think he's the better striker, he's much more technical, and he's much more clinical. And I think Justin's a great brawler, but I really think he's going to get in a lot of trouble here. If Justin actually used his wrestling, he could win. But I doubt that's going to happen. He's got 0 takedown attempts in the UFC. But it is a 3-round fight, and he's going up against this clinical striker. Maybe he might use it. Maybe, just maybe, but I doubt it. But what I'm really interested in is to see how Fiziev does with this jump up in competition, because let's not forget who Justin Gaethje is. He is a really, really dangerous man, and Fiziev should not take him lightly. So let's look who's next on the card. We've got Bryan Barberena versus Gunnar Nelson. I think this is a really fun matchup, and it's a good opportunity for Gunnar. He's near the back end of his career now, and even though Bryan isn't high up in the rankings, he's got a bit of name value, and I think we might get a nice little run from Gunnar. Gunnar's got a few losses, I think about 5 or so, but the people he's lost to a pretty high level. He's lost to people like Edwards and Gilbert Burns. There's no shame in losing to fighters like that. Stylistically, he's a good striker, he's a good grappler, and Barberena does have that size advantage, but I think he's just a little bit too sloppy for Gunnar here. So I'm definitely leaning Gunnar for this. And then we move on to Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. This is a bit of a sleeper, I think. People aren't talking about this fight enough. I think it's going to have a really good back and forth fight, maybe a bit of a grappling match. I think I'm going to go for Casey on this one. I know she's got a lot less experience, but she's 10 years younger. She's got the size advantage. She's a great grappler, and her striking's really improving. I think she's probably got this one in the bag. And then we open up the card with the Italian dream himself, Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. I've heard a lot of people complaining that Marvin's really low down in the card, but I don't mind this. I like when we have a big fight to open the main card. Remember when we had Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler open the card? I think it gets everyone excited. It makes that whole main card feel even bigger. But I think this is a great opportunity for Roman here, because if he can get a win over Marvin Vettori, that's really going to push him up in the rankings, and it's a huge step up in competition. And then Roman won't be too far from title contention. But he's a big, strong guy. He's got the size advantage, but Vettori's strong as hell. He's super durable, and he's a very well-rounded fighter. I know he's got a few losses, but I mean, he's lost to what? Israel Adesanya twice, and Robert Whittaker. I mean, losing to these guys, there's no shame in that. These are some of the best fighters in the world. And there we have it, the main card. I'm incredibly excited for this pay-per-view. I would have liked some more British fighters on the card, say for example Tom Aspinall or Paddy Pimblett or maybe even Molly McCann, but I know Paddy's injured and so's Aspinall, so it's kind of understandable. But thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it really does help us out.